seconds. All right, we're on there. Okay, so last week, right, we were just kind of focusing on that meal plan that we had that was done for us. Now we're going to kind of take it to those habits, right, which sound easy and they're simple, but sometimes aren't as easy to do as you probably think. So I just kind of wanted to talk about planning and prepping. I know you guys were all went through that information and stuff, but sometimes it's good just to kind of hear it again or hear it in a different way, give you a couple more tips, and then we can talk a little bit more about how to kind of implement them. Boom. All right, cool. Here we go. This looks good. All right, so having a plan. So basically, I'm sure you guys have seen that video, right? Having a plan, a lot of people think that I just want you to prep and plan everything, cook everything, spend 12 hours on Sunday and have everything in Tupperwares, and you got dry chicken breasts and like old stinky broccoli that have been sitting in your fridge and you got to eat that till Friday. Now, what I mean by this is I want you guys just to kind of figure out and play around with a plan for you and for your lifestyle. So how this is going to work for everybody is going to be completely different. Now we can learn from each other. I would love you guys to share your plans and let people know, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and we kind of all learn and grow from there. But this plan, right, that we're going to be putting into this week, don't think of it as the end all be all. Like if it doesn't work, which it might not, right, you just kind of have to figure out, just like this image here, like, okay, am I ready? Did it work? No. What do I need to do instead that'll make it work better for me? So first thing that I usually will tell people to do is like look at your schedule. So sit down, take a look at your schedule, make sure or figure out, okay, where am I maybe going to struggle, or where am I not going to have a lot of time, or where do I want to put my free meals, those type of things, so that you can get a general idea of, okay, what does need to be done? I don't know if that's a proper sentence, right, for the rest of the week, so that I can make sure that I'm being successful, that I'm hitting majority of what I want to hit when I want to hit it, right? So there I'm talking about that general idea, right? Scheduling those free meals, which are really important, because I want you guys to realize, which you already do, right, that this isn't like a super strict diet, but you can have those little meals wherever you want, whenever you want them, right? You just have to have that forethought for it. And then, like I said, prep the way that's most effective for you. So that flexible plan will be different for everything. And we've all seen this quote before, right? Failing to plan is planning to fail. I like it, but oftentimes I see people that get so stuck in that plan that they aren't flexible when they deviate from it, right? They feel like if I don't stick to the plan that I said, or if I don't stick to this diet exactly, or whatever it is, then, F it, it's completely over. Like I failed at this. What's the point? I'll just start on Monday. And I don't want you guys to think of this plan in that way. I want you to think of it as almost like, here's my playbook, here's my game plan. And just like in a sports game, right, if the ball bounces weird or something else happens that, wasn't expected, you just react the best that you can and you keep moving forward. So, if you have to deviate from that plan, it's okay. Just as long as you have a general structure or idea of where you're going, right, you can always kind of move within those guidelines from that point on. So ideas, right? I know you guys got your little meal prep on Friday, but there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can take this. So just take a couple of these ideas, maybe pick one that you feel like is going to work the best or be the easiest for you to try, and go from there. So creating a menu is always a good place to start, where it's like, for dinner, I never know what to cook. We always have this food, but we're always short on time. So maybe creating a menu where you sit down, it's like Monday night we're having this, Tuesday night we're having this, Wednesday night, whatever that is. Planning and prepping for the meal that usually throws you off. This is another big one. So I get a lot of people that say, breakfast, I'm great. Lunch is awesome. My mid snack or before workout or after workout, post workout snack is fine. And then I get home for dinner and it's late, or I'm tired, or something came up, or I got to run the kids here, and it all goes to hell. So I would find the meal that you typically, know is the one that you're usually not so great with all the time, and maybe just try and tackle that and forget about everything else. You could always think about prepping meals or snacks or having good things to grab when you're on the go, especially when you're busy. So whether that's a bag full of carrots and celery and string beans, right, or nuts, or like Kelly has a rotisserie chicken in there in case, something comes up and she doesn't have time to exactly cook. Like those little things that you can fall back on, because life is going to happen. You are going to have to deviate at some point. So having those there, you can shop and stock in bulk, right? Today, Matt went to BJ's for us, and he got us all the proteins. He got us all the vegetables. So that's all stocked up in our fridge and ready to go. You can do the same thing when it comes to cooking, right? Cook everything maybe not your vegetables because I don't freeze that well, but you know, all your protein sources and then putting them into singular bags. Mom, I know you're really good at that, is putting them into like single servings, and you freeze them and you kind of pull them out the night before or a couple nights before so that they're ready to go the next day. Done for you portions. I know Bernadette does this too, where you kind of like measure it out, and whether that's, you know, a bag of nuts or whatever it is, but making sure that, you know, you have those things to grab and go, but they're already portioned out. Because I don't know if you guys have seen those memes on like Instagram where it shows you what 100 calories of a handful of nuts looks like compared to probably what we think a handful of nuts is, and it's like 400 calories. So making sure that those are in point. We already talked about the free meals and having the easy go-to. So those are the ones that kind of came off the top of my head that I know work for a lot of people. Or you could always do that whole like you meal plan everything for the whole week, which is fine. But you know, that doesn't always work. I don't think it works for me, and I don't know if it works for a lot of people. But if it does, right, and it relieves your stress, then definitely have at it. Did you guys take a look at that Google Calendar thing? I don't know if that's something that you struggle with or are interested in.
Don't know anything about it because, as usual, I'm behind.
Okay, that's fine. Right, the Google Calendars, I have a little module on there that's just about, you know, scheduling and putting stuff in there because I know a lot of times we're busy, we're flying off the seat of our pants, we don't realize how much time or if we even have time to do certain things. So I use Google Calendars, which really helps, and it links up to my phone. So you can do that as part of like your planner schedule too, where you either block off time, whether it's for you or you block off time when you work out, or, you know, your schedule. And even though it sounds like it's very strict, it's very rigid, a lot of times like taking that time and getting that stuff planned and set actually gives you more freedom, right? So you're not constantly like running that to-do list in the back of your head because you know everything's kind of set to go for the next week. So you guys can take a look at that if you need it. If you feel like you don't need it, that's fine. Just forget about it and focus on this habit coming in. So like I said, having
I do a paper calendar.
You do a paper calendar. Yes, I know you love paper. So that works too. Yeah, that's completely fine. And then remember, flexible game plan. So not thinking this as like a do or die. If I don't stick to this plan that I have set, that I failed at this. This is going to be probably something that you're always tweaking. You're always experimenting with. Like your schedules are going to change. Life's going to change. So be ready to kind of be flexible within that. And of course, I would love you guys to share that plan that you want to put in place for this next week, especially since we aren't on that strict kind of meal plan anymore. So that's all the goods that I got for you when it comes to me. So let's talk about how this week went. And yeah, let me know. So Kelly, how do you feel like everything's been going so far?
I feel like I had a really good week. My goals for the week, I wanted to do my hour and a half ish of combined training, walking, meditating, like stuff that had to do with this, this at all.
Uh-huh.
And I kept to that. I wasn't out of range on that. I wanted to get in an average of 70 to 100,000 steps, which I did. And the thing I was really happy about that, because when you look at your week summary, is I had 2 days where I was at maybe 8,000 steps instead of 10,000 steps. And I wasn't doing laps to my mailbox at 11:30 at night or walking around the block at midnight to get my steps in just to say I got my steps in, because I'm really trying to take this 10,000 foot look at everything and looking at things
to see me? Sorry.
in bigger chunks of time, so that when I look at my whole week, I have 70 to 100,000 steps means I averaged over 10,000 steps. So although I had some days where I was at 14,000 or something like that, it balances out the 8,000 day.
Right.
And I feel like, the same thing with the meals and the idea of working in the treat meals. When I take my 10,000 foot look at my meals for over a week or 2 week block, and I look at, what overall was, what I ate, I'm really, really happy with that look. And
Right.
so I'm not worried at these like little minor details at every bite that I eat or every necessarily like discrete meal, but how it fits into, the overall,
The big picture.
the big picture. Am I really getting a lot more protein and vegetables than anything else, you know. And so, yeah, I may have a particular meal where I've got fruit in it and I don't really have vegetables in it. But when I step back and I look at the day, I'm getting my vegetables in and that kind of thing. So, you know, everything for me is about finding that Goldilocks point between being too restrictive and being, you know, out of control.
Right.
And you know, you know, my set point for that is closer to the restrictive side, because my goals that I'm trying to meet are more about weight loss right now. And so I'm going to, you know, I need to be a little bit more on the restrictive side, because I'm not trying to maintain, I am trying to lose. But I feel like this week went really, really well. I felt really good about it. And, you know, I had a lot going on with 4th of July, and I had 3 different Phillies games. And so I was out and around, but I was still able to kind of work my plan for how I was going to, you know, when I was going to eat at home versus when I was going to bring something with me, or when I was going to actually just deal with what was out where I was. So that was good. Whereas this week coming up, I don't have any event kind of thing. So you know, all of my meals are going to be very much within my own control for the whole week. This is just a tough emotional week because we have Saturday's Lamar's death anniversary.
Yeah.
So this is always a week when everyone in the house is tied up in knots, and so it's just kind of a more emotionally stressful week than normal. And you know, my body doesn't usually deal very well with stress, so I have to really focus this week on, if I start feeling tension or start feeling that, to use the techniques that I have to try to work my way out of that.
Okay, awesome. So you're like ready with those plans already set to.
Yeah, so I know what the challenge for this week is going to be, and I have the techniques to manage it. And again, the idea of perfect isn't on the table. I'm allowed to feel sad. I'm allowed to have emotions.
Exactly.
But what I want to try to do is to, within that, you know, to not have that bleed over into every single thing that happens this week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking that, like, that it's okay to still feel emotions and grieve. And I know that you know that, but
yeah. So it's recognizing the fact that those feelings and those issues are going to be around this week. And that because I'm sad doesn't mean I act out eating wise. I'm not much of an emotional eater anyway, so that's less of an issue. But just knowing that, you know, it's not gonna be the perfect week stress wise, and I'm aware of that, and just gonna, you know, do my best with it.
Punches. Good. Awesome. And another thing that kind of popped up as you were talking was the free meals things. And I know a lot of times you talk about, like, I'll have a free meal and it's still not even that crazy. Right? It's still a healthy choice. And that's the other thing that I want to say is you don't have to have free meals if you don't want to have them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of that fine line of, you know, I don't want you to stress out because you don't want them, but you feel like my coach told me that I have to have them. And now it's like this weird kind of thing. So I'm just saying, if you want to have them, and I know Bernadette, you know, she's not here right now, but she kind of struggles with that too. If you don't want to have them, you don't have, you know, it's not the opportunity, or you don't feel like it's going to help enhance wherever you are, whether it's at an event or out to dinner, then don't. It's fine. But just always know that you have them there. They are available. It is okay. There's no reason to have guilt about it or around it. So I just kind of like to put that disclaimer out there, because I know some people are like, well, I'm better off not having them, and, you know, I'm fine like that. And to each their own. So just putting that out there too. So, Mom, how was your week? Here we go. Did you put is your sound on? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Nobody can hear you. I don't know what's going on over there. Huh. She doesn't know what's going on. All right. Well, Mom, if you want, I think you can chat it, anything, if you want to. There's like a chat button down here, so you could hit chat and like write whatever you want to write. I don't really know what's going on with your sound, unless you want to try and plug in headphones in, and see if that works better. You survived the week. Okay. You have nothing else to say. That's all you got. All right. Well, short and sweet and to the point. If there's anything else, are we good? Is there any other questions or anything else that we got going on? Anything we want to share? No? Kel, you're good? You're the
I'm
only
good.
the only one I can hear. All right, good. All right, let's keep those food posts coming. Let's keep the sweaty selfies coming. Let's keep posting up, when we do our little kind of activity that's for us, how it went, you know what I mean? Because I think it's important that we stay accountable to that as well. So keep doing what you guys are doing. Go
I
ahead.
did have one question about the course.
Mhm.
When the 12 weeks is over, do you know whether we lose access to the course or whether we still have access to the course materials after the 12 weeks is done?
I'm not sure what I want to do with that quite yet. I'm kind of toying between the idea of, you can have it for a couple weeks after, or, have it for a couple months after, and then you would lose access. But I'm not exactly sure yet because you guys are like my first people going through this membership program. So that's definitely something I'll think about, and I'll let you guys know. Do you think that would be helpful if you had access?
Well, it just changes. Like if there's a PDF or something that you have that I would download to keep permanently versus if I know I can just log in and see it, I don't necessarily save it on my drive.
Mom, I think we can hear you now.
I didn't say anything.
You're so loud.
Okay, hold on. How about
Right.
now?
That's much better. Okay, good. All right, we figured it out. Well, Kel, since you do one-on-one coaching to begin with, you'll always have access. About everybody else, I'm not exactly sure. It might just be a couple weeks after that. But I would still download whatever you have just so that you have it, in case something happens and the internet crashes, which I don't know. I'm not the best at technology. So,
Yeah. No, I just didn't want this to happen, where the day that this ends, boom, everything's gone. And there might have been things that I wanted to take notes from or to actually download. So I just wanted to make sure
okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, sounds good. Mom, now that we can hear you, do you have anything to add about your week or anything?
I think I did pretty good.
Yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It sounds good.
I was more 80-20 instead of 80-20 a day.
That's awesome.
That's about it.
That's about it. What about this plan coming up? Do you know, like, kind of where you're going to go with scheduling or planning, or whether you're going to do a menu or those kind of things?
Well, I took Kelly's advice and cooked my trout. So I have that and steak for who knows what. But I'm going away Thursday night till Sunday, so they're my freeze.
Okay, sounds good.
Trying. And
I mean, that's a good loose plan. So there you go. Now it's just, navigating in that plan. That's all.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great night. If you have any more questions that pop up, you got my number. You got the Facebook group. We're all good to go. And, did you guys do your challenge yet? Did you guys see that? No, not yet. Well, there's a challenge in there.
I saw it. I didn't do it yet.
Okay, good. It's due on Tuesday. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap that up. I'm going to stop recording. This is for everybody who wasn't here that could stay and watch it later.